Hey, welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. Well, the more that I read about how other places are faring in this, what can we call it? Scamdemic, plandemic, non-demic. For us, we're actually very lucky. We are not in any kind of lockdown, and to be honest, the checkpoints that we do have are not providing us with any hassle. Maybe it is that we go up and down to Taliban from where we live every single day, and sometimes more than once. So I'm guessing that they must be bored with seeing us. That we do have to wear masks, or are wearing masks around town, but haven't seen any evidence of it being that strict. But then we don't see many police. The only time I see police is when they drive by in their police van. So we see very little of police, and it's not a heavy thing. In fact, we went to the cold water pool on Saturday, and we had a little trip out. We did put some videos out on that. It was a terrific drive because it really did show what the Philippines is like. Well, my Philippines it showed, and I thought it was really interesting. We saw some really tiny little communities up in the mountains. We went to where the pool was, and where the pool is high up there, but they're making great strides in changing the roads. So maybe all of the attention to the road which takes you up to the pool is for a reason, that it's a government facility, I guess, and it did have a lot of people there. So all of the signs outside say you can't get in without a mask. You've got to do, and for the first time in what must be a year, we had to write names and addresses down for contact tracing now. Now the only other place that you have to do that in Taliban is at the bank. That's where I have to do it. At the Metro Bank they still insist on you filling out that form, but they don't do that at the supermarket, at Alturas or anything like that. You just have to wear a mask. The drag about going to the bank is that you have to wear one of those silly visors. So you've got to wear one of these things that comes right down like this. The funny thing is that as long as you have it on your head, and this is one of the ironies, isn't it, of when bureaucracy start to get their fingers into the pie, as long as you have the thing on your head. So I put it up here on my head, and not any deliberate act of defiance. I just forgot that that's where it was. Nobody said anything, and that's what I've done ever since for several weeks now. So I think that we've been very, very lucky. And I did hear from a subscriber yesterday, talking about how difficult it was getting in Canada. So I know that it's getting difficult in Canada. I did see a couple of different instances about the way that people are reacting to the restrictions. I know that there are several states, and apparently the number is growing, where the government of that state, like Texas, I know for one, for sure, have said, we're done. We're not doing it anymore. And I know that Bohol is certainly, from our point of view, is not locked down, but that's from where we are. So we go to Atafi, we go to Taliban, and yesterday we went through Ubay. We went through several different townships, and it seemed like life was normal, other than people walking around in masks. So I'm hoping that things will eventually get back to normal, and that it will be the old normal, getting back to normal. Now, Beth did tell me that we can now go to Cebu if we want to, without restriction, without having to take any of the tests. It's a catch-22. We can go there, but we can't come back without taking tests, and I think probably being in quarantine for two weeks. so it's not actually much of an advantage to be able to go to Cebu. But anyway, I guess if you were trying to leave and go to another place and didn't want to come back to Bohol, then that would be the other thing. If they can just lift this lockdown stuff and get over this, the place will start to regenerate. It's not going through a great time in places like Anda, I believe, and certainly not Panglao. When we went to Panglao, there's an air of death about the place, in that so many establishments are just closed down. And we spoke to a few people who were still in barely open restaurants and stuff like that, and said, how's it going? And the one that we did speak to was about to shut down. So it's not so good on places that are solely reliant on tourists, because the tourists are having a difficult time getting in, and evidently it's not possible to take a vacation somewhere where you could be held in quarantine for 2 weeks. In what?
And it's not yet sure, darling. I just saw it in Facebook, so I don't verify it.
What?
Okay?
Tell me again.
I just saw it on some post. So in other words, it might be,
Oh, you might not be able to go.
No, I mean the quarantine,
What about, you don't think,
Yeah, I just saw it in someone's post.
you're not sure whether we are in quarantine if we come back from Cebu?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I just saw it. I just passing it. I just pass it scrolling. So, I didn't.
Right. Well, you can take that with a pinch of salt. Okay, well, that was my little update. We are in the middle of, are we in the middle or getting to less than the middle? A little bit past the middle, I think. Although we do have one house going from scratch on our 5-house project. The first house that we did from our 5-house project was for the family of the blind man. Now that's one family where they are all sighted, but the head of the family, the man, is blind, and blind from birth. So we helped there by building a house, and that was built in Tulang, and then we came back to where we'd done 3 houses in Taytay, and we are now continuing. Those 3 houses are complete, and we've had a request to build yet a further house. We actually had 4 houses going, which would have made up our 5-house project. And then when we got there, some people unfortunately were given notice for moving out of the place that they were living, which was tied to their job. They were helping the family that owned the house and the property with their business, and then that came to an end. Don't know whether we can blame that on the pandemic or not. It doesn't really matter, does it? They came to us, and the lady is pregnant, and we felt that we had to help. So we've now got 5 houses to go, and 4 of them are looking pretty good. The thing that's extra on these houses in this particular place is that because the land is subject to high tides, where it's not like they're going through extra feet of water, but it's the end of the road where the land drops down into the sea, into that particular small bay, and they do have water problems. So we've had to build the level of the ground up, and we've had some help doing that from the residents. So it's going well, and Sunday off, we're back to work tomorrow. Thanks for logging in, and bye for now.